Hi guys, it's Locke here today. Today we are going to be reading a book. And it's also an Easter special! Okay. Wait, what's that noise? What's that noise? It's coming from the magic pillow. And our clue today is Little Bunny. Boop, boop, boop. I'm hopping. Okay, so our book today is called Peter Rabbit, The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Do you watch Peter Rabbit on ABC Kids? I don't. The fox is a bit scary. Okay, let's read. The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. Now, my dears, said old Miss Rabbit, one morning you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put up in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Wow, that's scary. Now, run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. Then old Miss Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were called little bunnies, went down to the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some lettuces and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. But round the end, a cucumber frame, should he meet but Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Is Peter Rabbit a thief? Oh, no, I don't think so. Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for had he forgotten the way to the gates, he lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other amongst the potatoes. I think that's potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that I think he might have got away altogether if he had not unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself. Mr. McGregor came up with a scythe which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him, and rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it had not had so much water in it. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking underneath each. Presently Peter sneezed. "Curdy shoo!" Mr. McGregor was after him in no time, and tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He went back to his work. Sorry, that was just my mum's phone message. He went back to his work. Is that where we are? Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp with sitting in that can after a time. He began to wonder about going lippity-lippity, not very fast, and looking all round. Well, I think that should be the end of our story. So, happy Easter, and this is our only first part. So, happy Easter to you. So this is our first part. We'll do the rest in another episode.